I'm ready. Are you? South Korea is recovering. Life is coming back into these streets. Let me fill you in. Cue the intro.
You again. Feel again.
Hello, and welcome to the second episode of my channel, You and Me. This video in particular is meant for those who are coming to Korea, who plan on coming to Korea, or just interested in what South Korea is like post-COVID. So stay tuned and listen very carefully. Oh, also, I'll be revealing who the winner of the last week's giveaway at the end of the video. Alright, and as you can tell, I have this new setup, a new microphone and lights. Hopefully this will be better. If not, let me know in the comments down below and I'll try to make some adjustments. Okay, let me begin. Let me give you some background information. South Korea was a little bit slow in getting their economy back into order. This is partly due to the raising and lowering of the restrictions, placing limitations on businesses, which made it really difficult and just the regular person tired. If you're here, you could tell just by the for lack of a better word, the energy or the vibe that the people would walk with, or you would encounter, that they were very tired of all these changes, which just really depended on the case studies. It's understandable. At the same time, there wasn't a lot of help from the government. So, yes. So in the month of April, towards the end of the month, South Korea decided to remove all restrictions for the businesses, which allowed them to run as they see fit. Moreover, they allowed us to take off our masks outside. So when we're outside playing basketball, walking around, we have the ability to take off our masks. Most people still keep them on, but it's a nice feeling to have it off. This was very good to see and very nice. You got to see the expression, the joy in everyone's face. Now that I have filled you in, let's move forward. It feels quite nice, but let me tell you, before COVID, I was actually an introvert. Well, I still am an introvert, and I liked staying indoors, reading books, having a cup of coffee while staring out the window. That sounds kind of weird, but you know what I'm saying, in a peaceful, tranquil type of way. And so before COVID, that's what I am, that's what I'm like. After COVID, like post-COVID kind of, I'm still pretty much the same, but occasionally I like to go out. And when I do go out, it's nice to be able to see everyone with energy again, smiling, and it's nice to see Korea on its road to recovery. So with that being said, I am still very much heartbroken over a few things, and that's what I'm here to tell you. Before COVID, there were certain areas like Dongdaemun and Myeongdong, which was just tourist hotspots. They were great, wonderful sites. But unfortunately, during COVID and now after, it's almost vacant. It's almost dead. I would say about 80% of what it normally functions at is just gone. And it's very heartbreaking because I used to live around that area and visit quite often. When I needed some sort of spontaneous activity, I would go out to Dongdaemun, walk around. One of my favorite things to do would be buying a beer, walking down the Cheonggyecheon, which is the man-made river, and listen to music. I can still do that now. What's sad though would be the people, the different individuals that ranged from foreign to just regular citizens interacting with one another. A lot of that has kind of disappeared. If you go into Dongdaemun, let's just say for an example, you'll be met with the DDP, which is the Dongdaemun Design Plaza. Still nice, very modern. They regularly engage in some sort of activity or some sort of event. Recently they had the Gucci event. I think They're coming up with another one. Don't quote me on this. But if you leave that plaza and you start to walk out, you see buildings such as Migliore, Duta. I think Good Morning. Good Morning is it Good Morning? But there's another one, the third one on the far right once you exit, which is pretty much alive. But what's sad is that the individual stores that ranged from trendy fast fashion to basically startups in the clothing industry where they had their own sort of design, a lot of it is gone. If you go into these if you go into these buildings, you'll see a lot of vacant spots, which is very sad because my memories of that place would be going in there, being haggled, just bargaining for a cheap shirt, and it really had Korea's mark on it. Unfortunately, a lot of that's gone. Just a few places are there, and I really hope that moving forward, the government will provide some sort of incentive for them to restart that area, because there would be outdoor performances, food, unique clothing stores, just everything, and a lot of it's gone. Another area would be Myeongdong. And Myeongdong, when I went there were just a few stores there. Due to the Swatch craze, they had the Moonwatch sale there where people would line up and wait for the watches. But other than that, a lot of the stores are gone. It's really sad too because, Myeongdong would be in a lot of dramas. Foreigners would come over there to see this place specifically because it was so iconic. What made it different from Dongdaemun would be the more notable fashion stores would be located in Myeongdong, and so people would go there to get a bargain or a cheaper deal on on clothing or fashion related items, but more of the brand name. And so a lot of that's gone as well, and that's very sad to see. It's a part of my understanding of Korea that's just gone. And so going forward, I really hope the government will do something to help these areas, to bring revival, because for foreigners, for anyone coming to visit, these were such wonderful areas that had so much culture, a lot of rich culture to it. And so those are some sad facts that I'm just letting you know. But it's not all bad news. Certain areas like Gangnam, Shinsa, Hongdae have either maintained or grew in popularity. You're beginning to see a mosaic of different businesses and ideas come together, in particular Hongdae. I'm fortunate enough to live through, I think, 2 cultural phases that occurred in Korea. I would loosely identify them as pre-Hallyu and post-Hallyu wave. What do I mean by this? Pre-Hallyu wave, before BTS, I was here during the HOT phases, the Finkel, SES, they're so dear to my heart. And where Korean ideology or Korean culture wasn't that popular. And when I would come and visit, speak in Korean, I would, people would typically just watch, because my Korean's a little weird with its accent. And so I would talk in Korean and then communicate in English, and then you would see these people just surprised, look, like, who's this guy? Who's this Asian looking dude speaking in English? And that was the trend in the pre-Hallyu, because Korea was so focused on learning English that they really allowed academies and all of that to bloom. That's the pre-Hallyu, before Korea was well known. And then I came here during, not necessarily the post, because it's not over yet, but I'm in the cultural phase where Korea's popular. And coming here, you get to see there's a lot more different cultures coming together. We have different ideas, which is very nice to see. And Hongdae is a clear example of it. What do I mean by this? When you visit Hongdae, you see the typical entertainment area, which has the clubs, food, and what else? Outdoor busking. And then another area within Hongdae, which is basically the other side of the street, they have a bunch of old historic buildings mixed in with modern ideas, modern cafes, different desserts from other countries. I'm just fascinated by it. Really nice restaurants, and it's very good to see. So, this is also a nice little change that I see of Korea. Before the pre-Hallyu, I remember Itaewon being the foreign hotspot where all things foreign would predominantly live or be in Itaewon. But now it's not so much the case. We see hotspots here and there of different cultural identities popping up in Korea. Before, people would consider would not be so welcome to the idea of foreigners coming in. I'd like to think a lot of that has changed, but I'm typically a pessimist, so I'm not too sure. But with the burgeoning of these different businesses, I would definitely think that Korea's on the right track. Just for clarification, I'm not a building expert or even a history major. I'm solely basing this on what I've witnessed. All right. So now, to bring this all back together, COVID has left a permanent mark that has shaped Korean society. People are washing their hands more frequently. They didn't before. We're beginning to see more kiosks instead of cashiers at various stores. The older businesses are closing down, but this provides an opportunity for young and creative individuals to open stores that are unique to Korean culture. I look forward to Korea capitalizing on its potential to be an even more pivotal country amongst the other global leaders. Now, with COVID being put aside, this is a good time to visit, but make sure you are up to date on the tourist attraction sites. And because some of them are definitely not the same, and it would be good to be informed. Now with that, I look forward to hearing about your future plans on coming here. Please comment down below when you plan on visiting. It is a wonderful country, and with that, I will close off today's session. Well, hopefully you like the content I provided. If you do, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell to keep up with the latest content. It would help me out a lot, and I would greatly appreciate it. Until then, 안녕, 다음에 얘기하자. In other words, goodbye, and let's talk later. Oh, I totally forgot to mention, but congratulations to Stephanie Lands. You won the giveaway. I actually don't know how this works. Somehow we're gonna have to get in touch. Follow me on Instagram, DM me, or I will DM you, and hopefully we can exchange contacts and figure out what is it that you want from Korea. Thank you very much once again, and continue to follow. Content will continue to be posted and more giveaways in the future. Thank you very much. 고맙습니다. 안녕.